We're testing a high performance shoe today, so we need a high performance environment. We came all the way to Loughborough just to trial this shoe on this track to see if it lives up to the hype. The shoe certainly does. First impressions, spot on at the moment. I'm liking it. It's aggressive, it's fast, on. Well done. Welcome back to another shoe review, and this time we are going to look at the CloudBoom Echo 3 from On, the most hotly, I guess, anticipated shoes on the market at the moment. It's not available yet. It's going to be out on the 6th of July, also available on SportsShoes, so head over there if you want this shoe, but you've got to be quick because it's probably going to sell out. So look, we're going to give you first impressions. We're going to tell you what we like, what we don't like, and we're going to just put the shoe through the tester, through the mill today as well. So hopefully give you a good close-up, a good feel if you want to go and purchase this shoe at SportsShoes, of course. Coming off a track session, I think it's designed for fast running, track races, 5Ks, 10Ks. Me personally, I don't know if I could wear this for a half or a marathon. I think it's a little bit too aggressive. This is the most aggressive super shoe I've ever worn so far, you know, since they started. The foam, you can see the carbon plate on the outside. It's from, you know, toe to heel, and I'd say the foam is very firm. It's very responsive, and there's not much kind of, I guess, cushion there, so that hence why I think it's better suited to the shorter distances. So that was my initial first impression. I mean, the upper, no complaints there. I had no rubbing. The laces, I've got the lovely ribbed laces as well, so they got good grip. They hug your foot nicely, and it's a super lightweight upper. You can't really complain. It's a comfortable heel box as well. So all round, very, very impressed, especially if you're running fast. Okay, let's dive into the midsole, and I kind of touched upon it already, but I think it's a very responsive midsole, but it still does give you cushion. I mean, Helen O'Beary wore these for a marathon, and I was able to do quite a high volume threshold session in them, and I know, you know, the On OAC guys over in America, they do a lot of work in these. They put a lot more mileage in this shoe than I ever will. So, and I think that's credit to, you know, the foam is durable. I think that's the biggest thing we've become to notice in super shoes is how, yes, it's got a high stack height, it's got a good comfortable foam, it's cushioned, but how durable is it? And I think I've already worn this. I put it through, you know, 3 sessions in a week, and I haven't noticed any difference already in the foam. Interestingly though, it does say on the box lifespan of 4 marathons, so I'll let you know when I hit 100 miles, 105 miles, or whatever it is. Okay, but at the moment I've put in about 10. It's holding up. Let's get to the outsole. I think we don't often see much grip when it comes to super shoes, and I think this is, I don't know why, because obviously you're going to wear them on the road in road races, and chances are in wet conditions. And this thing, I've been very impressed with the grip, although when you look at the rubber, it's barely a kind of layer of rubber. It's very, very thin, but it is actually very, very grippy. And I think the midfoot, you don't really need that control, that grip on the track or the road. And again, it kind of supports itself up on the heel as well. So interestingly, I think I found on the toe box, and Lum told me this is to save weight. So where can they cut down on the rubber on the sole of a shoe? And one of the things is the wrap around the toe. They could just, you know, slit that in half, saves a little bit of weight there. So I thought that was a cool feature, to be honest with you. But this, yeah, outsole, absolutely no complaints with at all, and I think it's one of the grippier super shoes on the market, although it might not originally look like it. All right, there's another area we've got to mention, and that's got to be sizing. How do they fit? True to size. These are probably the most true to size shoes I've ever had. I mean, look, I'm a 9.5 day to day. In some brands, I have to go up to a 10 because they come up tight. In some, I have to go down to a 9. These 9.5 was just a perfect snug fit. Now let's get to the crux of it. Pros and cons. We're going to start with the pros. We'll try and hit three big ones. For me, the biggest thing was it felt like an old school flat. It doesn't feel like a big clunky shoe. It's very, very streamlined. It's very lightweight. And the minute you put it on, it's almost like putting on a spike. You feel fast, you want to get going, you want to get rolling. So I was very impressed with that. I think that's credit to the upper, super lightweight upper. And again, I mentioned the laces before, you can really pull them tight. They hug your foot nicely. And it's just streamlined, you know, it doesn't widen up on the sole at all. It's just a very neat shoe, to be honest with you. So that's a big one for me. There was a cool feature in this shoe that I really liked, and I think a lot of people might be able to relate to this. There's actually grips on the inside of the shoe, on the sole, and it just keeps your foot in the right position. It sounds really weird, but there's just kind of little thin rubbers where your foot, and I have found it in super shoes, your foot can slide, and it's only natural, especially when you're cornering and stuff. And they're a very stable shoe, so I've been quite impressed with that, to be honest. Okay, now finish up. We have to talk about, you know, I guess the few bits that we don't like, and we're going to give an honest opinion on that. I think for me, and it's not necessarily, I actually really like this about the shoe, but I think a lot of people who are looking at buying it might not. I think there's question marks over how comfortable it is, and I think it's kind of like spikes. You never worry about having a comfortable spike because you just want performance, right? And I think it's getting that way in the super shoe market. I've actually interestingly wore these around for best part of 3 or 4 hours. I wasn't doing any running in them, I was just wearing them, trying to break them in, and they weren't that comfortable. And if you are running over a sustained period of time, over a half, over a marathon, maybe question marks over how comfortable the shoe is during that time. But also, do you really want a shoe because I feel like this thing really makes me want to go fast, and it's aggressive, and that's, I think, what it's designed for. All right, thank you for tuning in. That's an honest opinion and review on the CloudBoom Echo 3, which is due out 6th of July. Going to be available on SportsShoes as well, so get in there quick. I'll give you a heads up, it's going to sell out pretty fast. This thing is in demand. But if you like this video, and check out the rest of the videos on our channel as well, like, subscribe, click the bell, of course.